working with Max, trying to bring up our PowerShell skills and getting more familiar with all the commandlets. So Max, go ahead and we're on topic 1, right? Where object, sort object, select object. There was something else you was going to add also.
Well, you'll see it in there. You'll see it in there. This is your initial topic, and of course I got to add a few more goodies in there. You guys can see my screen, right?
Yeah, can everybody hear Max?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, good. Yeah, I talk loud. All right, so let's get things started. Hope you guys have enjoyed the previous one, and I hope that Sid have give you access to the code, and if not, we're gonna make them available to you guys. And feel free to comment, use them, tweak it, and there will be more to come, especially with this upcoming episode 1. And of course, we're gonna do this everything on Sapiens Technology PowerShell Studio 2012, which will allow me to display the code in here, and then I'm gonna highlight and run the code. And basically, this is our topic. This is the additions that we got. I added the format list, and not twice, it's supposed to be once. Let me fix this here now. Okay. Format list, format table, because most of the time when you work with object, you want to display it in a certain format. And then later on, I'll explain when not to use these format list and format table. First of all, we're going to also get used to one particular commandlet that will help you even make you more efficient when you testing all these things. Okay, you have the get process and the get service commandlet, where you can do a lot of stuff in it, a lot of query to the objects, a lot of things that you can use in order to be more efficient in one-liners coding. So in this case, let's start as a one-liner example. Get service, you're gonna display all the services. I'm gonna display it in the PowerShell out grid view, which is the pop-up windows that we can display information without populating all our console with all those data. So we're gonna run this thing here, gonna highlight. It's gonna run in the console. Just see that here it's running down here at the bottom of the screen. A little bit up here so that way we can get it. And then a few more seconds, then it will gonna pop up. Let me see here. Sometimes they pop up on there you go. Just to let you know, I'm using Windows 8, and Windows 8 have a symptom that when you're using the grid view, the out grid view, it doesn't show at the bottom of the screen like it's active unless you look for it. So it's a little bug. But here we got the grid view.
Hey Max, what version of PowerShell are you running?
This is version 4.
Okay.
But the code that I'm using here is version 3 and version 2 compatible. Okay. So it's very general what I'm showing here. There's no version 2 or version 3 gadgets in display except for this one thing. Only except for the get help. Okay. The get help with the dash windows is when that only is available in version 3. I will cover that again in the next few seconds. Okay. So that you know, every time you get you click the command get service, it's gonna give you a standard result. This is standard is the basic information you're gonna display. There's more to this, and in order to us to explore what more information get service can give us, then what we do is we initialize a variable. We dump the information in a variable. In this case, I'm gonna create $s equal get service to dump all that information, all those object information, gonna dump into my variable. And I just run this thing here. Okay, and now we got no result, because now S contains a lot of objects. To display the object, to identify what things that variable has, then I can go back and I'm gonna use pipe all that information from the S, gonna pass it on to get member. Get member is where you discover what that object has, and this time I'm gonna display it again back to a grid view. Now here's the grid view again. And this is all the objects of the .NET object that you have available and you can consume. You got methods, as I maybe probably mentioned before, method are things that can affect the object. And most of the time you'll be dealing with properties. Okay? And as you can see, it's populating. You see methods affects the object. You have a start, refresh, stop on the methods, and then here you have properties. If they can be stopped, it can be shut down, machine name. These are most likely the things you're going to be using to display information, or you want to store information, you want to save that information somewhere, right? So now that we have identified, okay, now I have some information about my objects, what am I going to do with it? Well, here's where the word objects come in place. So I have my variable here, S. I'm going to pipe the information to the word objects. I'm going to look for status equal running. Okay, now as you can see here, this is the version 3 and 4.0 way of querying the way of querying an object. Okay, and I will explain afterwards why. But this is a very simple form. You can get complex than this. It gets difficult. Okay, and I'll show display now here. Just run this. I'll display at the bottom.
Max, just to let you know, you have some people here
Yeah.
have their laptops and they're following you, but they've got
Version 2?
Yeah.
Well, version 2, the difference is, which I've displayed that here. This is how you do in version 2. Okay?
Good man.
Let me get this a little bit bigger. Okay, there you go. That's better. So this is how you do in version 2. Okay? You have to put use the brackets, the braces here, open and closing braces. This is mandatory. It's telling, okay, from the object, I want to pick this property. From the objects piping into the where object, that's why this $_ and then the dot navigates to that property. In this case, I'm navigating to the status. Then I'm going to use the condition equal. And then, of course, this is string, and I'm looking for everything in the status that equals stop. Okay? Now, this is one. If I go back to what I was trying to explain before, this is a short form on version 3 and version 4, but just for simple query. Okay? You do something more complex like this, and I'm going to show you what's going to happen. Make sure this one completes. Okay, it didn't bring anything. So now if I do this one here, version 2, which is the more standard and the more acceptable, I mean, you can use this on all of the other versions of PowerShell. You can find there's anything that is stopped, and there you go. I give you a list of every service that is stopped. Okay. And there's the dog. They have to show up. They have to. I mean, this is part of the drill here now. Okay. So now here I give you a couple more examples here. What you can do. A little more complex, what you can do, what it makes it work, but more complexity. And I really didn't thought it was going to tell me that all the services was stopped. Okay, all right, finally a break out of it. So let's try this one here. And as you can see, again, I try for different ways. It doesn't want to work. It'll give you an error. Okay, so that new way only for simple query. It doesn't work for complex query. So the way to go is, of course, version 2. even more complex. You can see it is populating based on the if it's status equal running and if display information match either one of those. Everything that is SQL or everything that starts with a diag or when, and then it will come up, you know, everything's under that display name. And let's go up here. See, everything that display name, you can match everything that is SQL star, or this is what it means. The bar, all the piping here means bar or diag or when. So they give you a, you know, very simple with the equal and condition and matching. Okay, and then of course if you want to know about more information about the where object, you can always do the get help version 3. It's only available version 3, but it doesn't we'll do it in a different way here too, so I can show you. We're gonna test that right now. This is the benefit of using version 3 or greater. They have that parameter called show window, and that will give you, you know, a pop-up information about the commandlet and the help information with it. Okay, which is great. Now let's try this, right? Let's go version 2 only, right? Let's go ahead and try this thing here. Let's go gun ho. I'm gonna do this get help pipe, and what we're gonna do, we're gonna do out dash grid view. See what comes up. Okay, let's see. Let's run it. Ooh, no audio. So I'm gonna show you what come up. So that didn't work, but yeah, they're like, okay, what the hell is that? well, you gotta give it a try, right? You gotta give it a shot, see what comes up. So, but then with the get help, you have also the other option like dash online, which then it will give you, you know, will go into the internet and get information. So you have different ways just to get information out. Here I'm getting on my Internet Explorer, and then boom, you see, here it is. So I have multiple ways. So you're not alone on this. It should work. Version 4 or options 3. Interesting. Look at this. Other versions. It says version. It's like no version 2. Ooh. That's something to mention to them. Hey, where's version 2? All right.
I couldn't get it to work either in version 2.
Was that the online?
Well, no, not the online, but when you were piping the $, when you were piping the where object from the get services
This?
into $S, yeah.
All right, you know what? Let's do this. That's the beauty of using this tool. Hold on a second. Let's go gun ho here. Let me do this. We're gonna change this, and then I'm gonna do restart my shell. It's just gun ho. And we'll see. This is supposed to be table assign PS version table. Let's see. Set to version 2. Okay, so let's do PowerShell. There's one way you can do dash version 2.0. Let's see if it let me drill into it. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Here's a way where you can when you got version 3 or version 4 is supposed to let you go to version 2. That way you can, you know, keep running your scripts on the previous version. So now I'm gonna populate again on this space, run space. I'm gonna populate again
Do that.
I need that. So let's do this. Now let's go back to where. Which one you're telling me the so we can check it out?
It was $S piped to the where object, and the status was equal to stop.
Oh, this one?
Yeah, that simple one there.
Yeah,
I think
it should work.
Yeah, it should work.
Yeah. Yep. And this is I gotta do $PS
Get that, sir.
version table. Yeah, and I'm on version 2. Okay, so this work, and I'm gonna do this one, this other one here. Let's try that one too, and this one didn't work. Maybe this is the one that didn't work, right?
We got it.
Okay.
Yep, it's working now.
Oh yeah. Oh no, wait a minute. No, that was the one. No, here it is. Sorry for that. I confused. I gotta use the one that's really version 2. There you go. There you go. It's displayed it. It's shown.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is version 2. I want to highlight it. Okay? And the result down here. Alright, and then we'll see. Now, just to clear this thing up, right? Let's do get dash. Let's do it down here, and then we're gonna do get dash help where dash object do dash name path category component functionality role detail full examples parameter online. So I think this one has the online. It will not have the show window. Show window parameter is the version 3, version 4 able. Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So you got detail help. You got full. Detail full examples, and then of course online. And then, of course, you can explore the other options just by using the the get help. Okay. This way now, of course, you know this. Oh, does this have grid view? Yes, the version 2 should have grid view. So if I do again, let's do this. Let's try this piece only. Highlight that little section here. It's in console, and it's loading. And this one, okay, this one will not work because I have. Yeah, this is one thing you won't be able to do in version 2 is everything that is .NET 3.0, 3.5, because it's a higher .NET, and because you're like it's just a subsystem, you're running it version 2 under a higher .NET, so this piece will not work. But it's supposed to work because it's just looking. Here, see, it's just a different version. Is the problem. So if you have you can try this, get help. Try it now. Get help space about _*, pipe it to grid view, and you should be able to see a list of all the you should be able to see the list of all the about topics of PowerShell. Now, the benefit of using version 3 is that then you can use this trick. This trick, what it does is the pop-up window will come up with all those topics, and I think I showed this in the previous one. So you can highlight, select the ones you want to open all at one time. Okay, but this is, of course, yeah, it is a version 3 feature. Okay, but at least out of that, you can at least display it on version 2, all the topics, and then you just have to systematically grab the one you want and do the online or display it on the console. Okay.
Hey Max, can you show us the version 3?
Yeah.
How it looks?
Sure. Here we go. Let me restart my shell. Restart my shell, and what we're going to do is this. You see, it's searching for all my about topics. And then here you are. And then in this case, I could click for each. No, wait a minute. Let's do formats. Operators. Let's go to where about. Where? While. You can do while. Hold on the control key. WMI. Workflow. You can click OK. And then it will populate, will come up on the screen all of the ones you selected. See?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then and that way you can put them aside on the other screen, read about it, keep working on your stuff, you know. So version 3, version 4 are very good PowerShell tools. I mean, have a lot of enhancement to it, especially in the language. Okay. So now let's go for a quick sort on the on our PS object where we have our services stored. And let me just refresh again. The object because I know we changed. I reset my PowerShell console here. Okay, reset it. And now sort. Very simple. Let's see what comes up with here. I'm going to sort by name. Ascending is by default. Very simple. Sort dash options a command. Pipe all the information to it. Pick the property. Name is a property. It's going to sort by name, and then again, I'm going to send it to grid view, which should be available also on version 2. Okay. Let's do this. And there it is. Here we are. We sorted by name. Okay, and then of course here in the top of the pop-up will give you the command you just ran, so you can see what you displayed is what you asked for. Okay. Now, also you can use. You can either just specify the property, or you can use a parameter, identify, okay, I'm going to use the property, kind of redundant, name, status, I'll review, I'll run this again just to, because I added statuses now here, so it should be, there you go, going to show name, and then within the name, then, it's going to show stop, run, so that's how it's sorting about. Awesome. Okay. So there's not much to it on the sort side. Then you can specify that parameter for descending. Default is ascending, and then dash descending. Is going to change the order. And then again, of course, you can use the get help sort object to show window. Again, it's just a matter for you guys to use PowerShell, use the get help. There's a lot of information in there. There's a lot of, and when you do the get help, you can do only dash examples. I'm going to give you the brief examples of what you can do with it. Okay, so it's just a matter of repetitive. You keep doing it. You have to find a purpose to play with PowerShell. But all this thing, you can use get process, get dash process, get dash services, because there's a lot of information, there's a lot of objects in there. you can sort a different way. You can do different type of queries, you know. All right, now of course we have worked with the object itself, querying the objects. But of course, most of the time after you query the objects, you want to do more with the properties of those objects, and then here's where the select object comes together. This is the full query technique of PowerShell for the objects. And then I added here a few more things in here just in case you're only interested in understanding about the properties, not the method, the properties of the object, which is the thing you display. Then this is how you would do it. Is the PS object, pipe it to get member, then you use the member type parameter with properties. And this is only will give you the list of all the properties. Okay. And in this case, as you can see in here, this is all my properties. Alias properties, no properties will be displayed in here. Everything that is property will be displayed. This is everything that you can capture to do something. Display it on screen, just save it to a file, and now we're going to dig deeper into, okay, I don't want all of those, right? So now is where the select comes together. And in this case, well, let's say we want to identify only machine name, service name, and if they can be shut down. And now, of course, I'm added an additional way to format that output in the screen, which is going to be table format. And the parameter auto size, what it does is, if you don't use the auto size, those property names are going to be expanded across the screen. You know, there's going to be a lot of spacing between them. Auto size just trim down those spaces and make it more readable. And I can show an example without the format. Here it is. And as you can see, it's all scattered all over the screen. You know, you don't want that. Now, if you use format table and then auto size, and as you can see here, it will be more formatted in a formatted way. Machine name, service, can shut down. And then you give us false or true. Okay? Perfect. So now, what other thing you can do with, I went now from the basic essential on select object, and I give you an advanced, full-blown example of how to use the select with more fancy stuff in it. Okay? And I'm going to explain here. And this is, we're going to introduce you to the script block. That's one of these, and more parameters that you can use in here. It's very self-explanatory when you read the query. It says all the objects. I'm going to select the first three. Yes, you can use just to display a portion of the object, but you don't want to display the whole thing sometimes. You're going to test your code, you know, in some occasion you want to just display something in order to, okay, have the feel, how the data going to look like. And then here comes the script block. This piece here, very valuable. Okay, what it's telling here is I'm gonna change my label to be my system name, and I'm gonna change. The value for that expression is gonna come from the object property machine name. In this case, what I'm done is that the machine name, which is really the true label of that object, I have replacing it with my system name. And then you can pick service name, can be shut down, which is the previous example I have displayed. And let's just take a run of this and see how it will look like. So in this case, here we go. My system name, show all the dots, right? That means it's my local computer. And of course, the first three of my data is going to be displayed, so I have a feel of how the data is going to look like. Okay, now this is the beauty here. Now, expression here on the script block. Expression means a block of code. Okay, I'm only using the property name. but this could be a whole block of code that you could embed in there. So one record at a time, you can have logic in there, okay? And I'm going to show you here a little bit more information on script block. Don't be scared. It's all PowerShell. Now this block of code, I'm going to change machine name to my original machine name value. Then what I'm going to do here is, okay, if the system name, because remember, you can query remotely to another computer and it will bring in the machine name with the full qualified machine name, right? But in this case, I'm doing, okay, if the system name is the machine name contains a period, which is going to be local, right? Well, do me a favor and get the value, the environment computer name that is stored in the system so it can be replaced. Else, just leave it the way it is. It's all what it means. Now, also, follow this technique here, although for most occasions kind of is optional, but I like to put it here. This means continue on the next line. And this, a little tick, is a space, then a little tick means continue on the next line. That way you don't have a long one-liner. Okay, this is to make the code more readable. Alright, so every line will have a tick, mean continue on the next line, continue on the next line, until it reaches the end. Now, if I run this, let's just give it a shot in here. Okay, insertion, ignore. Yeah, then I gotta, there you go. Gotta scroll down. Let's try this thing again. Right click. There you go. Contains a period. And in this case, here it is, my original. This is just to show you that I have an original machine name value. This is my my environment computer name value stored in the system. So they give you a lot of flexibility when you're building, you know, your queries and you want to add or maybe change or put something in addition to what the object has. Okay? And by the way, this is version 2. I mean, this is also it is acceptable in version 2. That hasn't changed. If you want, let's do this. Let's do. I'm gonna just to make sure that I'll show version dash 2.0, and we're gonna run again the little code. Version 2 code. Go back to the end. And you can see I already test the same code in version 2. Okay? So what I've shown here with the select object will work in version 2. Okay? Any questions?
Actually, I do have one. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Are you familiar with how to create customized commandlets?
Explain a little bit more. You mean building custom objects?
I guess I thought I could. I read in kind of like in some of the documentation, and you can actually, I think, write your own commandlets.
Yeah. Yeah, we can. That will be one of our more further down the line topics. But this will give you an idea of what you can build in a script. And yes, you remember, one-liner. Everything starts with one-liners. Then this is a good example of a script file from a one-liner. And then, yes, then you can add parameters, then you can add help, then you can build your own commandlets from scripts. That's what you mean?
Yeah, that's.
I mean, we can touch. You know what? In the next, maybe we'll give a twist on the next POSH, and I'll cover more now at that level. Here I show an example of a one-liner. This last one is a good example of a script file.
Okay.
And then we can evolve in something like, okay, now we can turn it into a commandlet. You know, and I have a very good examples of that I use a lot. I use a lot my own commandlet that I built to query my server for the last time it was rebooted. And that's a very good example that a one-liner can turn out into a script and then into a commandlet. And then after that, what it becomes? Part of a module. Because you have a collection of commandlets, and then you build a module so you can put everything in one single, as like a library of scripts.
Okay.
Yeah, we could probably do that on our next one. So that way it keeps the interest going, and there's a lot more techniques, and we can keep it. You know, we can show you a simple way to build a commandlet and then grow into a module and build your own module.
Yeah.
So Sid, write that down.
He's not here right now. Back at the moment.
Okay. Wake him up. I know he's sleeping. I know. Wake him up. Come on. You're a very good group. I heard someone snoring back there.
That's the chair.
Yeah. So I mean, this is a very very good way how things evolve. Is also what I'm trying to show in here. Okay. Get member is useful because that's the only way you're gonna learn. You're gonna do research about what the object, what is in that object. You know.
Could you instantiate the Excel object and pull up the members?
You're too far.
Yeah, you
Can you open up the Excel object and instantiate the Excel object and open up the members?
Can you come closer? Because I can hardly hear you.
Don't worry.
Right here.
I'm sorry, is that any better?
There you go. I can hear now.
All right, can you instantiate the Excel object and list its members?
I don't know. I mean, what's your give me an example.
The member VB script, creating
Yes.
an object. You go to create the object. You get your hooks into the Excel object.
All right.
Oh yeah. Good point. That's one of the future ones we're gonna do. You can do new object and use the parameter com object -com object. Then you can consume, just like a file system in VBScript,
Right.
and then you build objects out of there. And it is a com object wrapped in .NET. So when you do the get member, you see all those members there.
All right. That'll work.
I could definitely will bring an example of that. I've used them all the time.
Yeah. Well, I just want to see what it has like a library. So we can
Sparking conversation over here, Max.
I can play with that once I get home.
How'd you guys get on ComObject? Man, God, what the hell did I miss?
But Sid, I mean, I heard you snoring, man. I know they woke you up. I know. I know, man. Shit, I can't believe you did that to me.
No, this is good stuff, man. I missed the last part of it, but
That's sure you did. The
no.
most important part, you just missed it.
All right, man. Well, anybody got any questions for Max?
Hey, we definitely can make this very how do you call it, friendly user. You know, people can interact and ask questions, and I'll do the best I can to answer it. They're asking a couple things there about ComObject, you know, how to use ComObject with PowerShell and everything. That I have examples of that. So we could possibly integrate those things into the next one. I'm gonna do a twist. We'll do the one-liner script file to commandlet, and I could throw in there an example of using ComObjects.
Yeah.
That sounds good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Yeah. One last question. Do commandlets, can they have properties in of themselves?
Proxies?
Properties.
Oh, properties, yes. Well, I mean, yeah, that's a very good question. A script file is a script file. I mean, I never dump a script file into an object and see what it comes out to. Maybe it is. I don't see why not, but what do you mean property within Excel? Explain to me a little bit more so I'm clear.
Because some of the design principles that you're talking about, like with going from the script file to the commandlet to the module, is almost like you're dealing with like different methods which you put inside the class, and the class contains different methods, and then you place the classes in different.
No.
Symbols.
Well, when we're talking about method and properties, it's more of a .NET. It's object oriented. You know, it's a .NET objects, which means it's not only that a variable is only a value in it. You have more. You have properties. You have methods. You have things that can interact with that particular value in the object. You know that now. Script file. What happened is you see an evolution from what you start learning in PowerShell of a simple command like get service, and then you realize, wait a minute, it's only giving me this information, but I know there's more information in it, and then you expand that one-liner to store everything in a .NET objects, which is the $S, and then how do I discover more of that, what that object has? Then use the commandlet pipe everything to get member. You know, it keeps evolving. You know, it gives you tools to evolve. You understand your .NET objects, and then the other commandlets ties those ends for you and providing you the information you need. And then what happening is, okay, I'm tired of running one-liner. I'm gonna build a script file, and the script file just a series of code that you have tested, and you follow an order. And you're going to execute over and over again. Then that script file become a function. And then after the function have parameters, and then from those function is what becomes commandlets, your script commandlets. And what happening is you have all this series of functions floating all over the place, and you realize, oh, wait a minute, I can group all these functions that I built for my purpose or to share it. And it's better off to build it under a module, so that way people load the module once, and they can access those commandlets. That is an evolution. You know, there's a PowerShell was a simple script file in the beginning. Now you can build libraries, build more tools, more useful tools.
Pretty much.
Yep. Got it. Totally understand.
Clear as mud. I mean, glass. No, they got it. We were just trying to. One of the guys here, he's got a .NET background. A couple of the guys.
No. I mean, yes, and oh wow, don't get me to Visual Studio and how to build commandlet. That's a different, it is interesting,
Yeah.
I'm done at a very basic level, but yeah, no, that's.
So a lot of the things that they're doing, they're trying to convert from, from a Visual Basic standpoint over to a PowerShell, right?
Yeah, and it is possible, but right now, it is better off just rebuilding it in pure .NET. But if there's a need to keep the code, yeah, I mean, it is. You could do it. You could do it.
What I've got has to be rewritten. It can't be.
Mhm.
There's no way it's going to get ported back over.
Mhm.
Ported over to it. There's
Yeah.
no way. It's in too many pieces. It's broken up into too many objects. It's pulled in.
Yeah.
The good news is mine will have to be rewritten.
Pardon me. So yeah, they're coming from that background, and now they're trying to convert a project over to PowerShell. And
Gotcha. Well, I can provide some ideas so they can consume that I can consume the those COM objects into a .NET object using PowerShell. It is possible. Okay.
yeah.
Guys, I think I got to go. So
Sounds like it.
yeah, I mean something's going on, and I gotta take care of this.
All right, Max. Hey, save this file, send it to me on the Sky Drive, and I'll get back to you.
All right, man. Thank you guys very much. Appreciate the involvement. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.